Hello everyone, and my presentation is about developing Blackwell N strategies. So we're going to go over the competitive advantages. It has affiliations with OSU, and the location is also on campus, and it also has various amenities. So this place is a big advantage over the hotel's competitors because when they're trying to get bookings, they can market the fact that they're connected to OSU and appeals to those who have interest in anything that revolves around OSU. When looking for employment, they can appeal a lot of students of OSU with the location being on campus and the hotel's track record of supporting student academics by having student internships available and good paying wages for students with the hotel having banquets, event spaces, rooms, conferences, hotels, etc. And they can really market to a large audience from different types of consumers. So these are just the external factors, which basically is just showing like assessing the competition like on the outside, so like the opportunities and threats. And so like you have the opportunities, the only hotel affiliated with OSU. This could be they can use it as a way to show that since they're the only hotel, they're going to be they're going to have a large presence to students and parents and faculty and staff members at OSU who want to hold events or any places who want to book rooms as well or event spaces. They're also like other competitors are not implementing their own in-house audiovisual teams, which as I said before is really good. They can use for like their marketing and branding to really showcase like how competitive they are. Demand for in-room bookings for football will peak during the fall, which is really good because since they're also on campus, they're also really close to the stadium, which is so nice because then they can really like get that competitive edge. For those who want to book rooms, since it's not that far of a walk from their rooms to the stadium for the football games in the fall or events in the stadium. But some threats are high property taxes, which is like can really put a pressure on like the financials. So like when you have like your expenses of in-house expenses, you also pay for those outside expenses as well, just for like having those like property taxes as well. Competitors are in the downtown Columbus market. Yes, so like a lot of people are not coming only for OSU, but also like for the downtown businesses, conferences, events, and just the downtown life as well. And there's already like a lot of hotels that are situated right in the middle of downtown. So like the Blackwell's gonna have a hard time trying to really engage in that market. So the university affiliation could make the Blackwell really hard to reach other markets. So like yeah, if the Blackwell is really gonna take on that OSU branding and all of that, those ties, it's gonna be hard for them to try to integrate to different markets that are not like so like if people want to come for not sports related type of things or OSU but not football related things, it's gonna be hard for the Blackwell to kind of they have to make sure they're not solely marketing themselves as like a sports and events type of hotel uh, to those types of markets, basically. So some of the internal factors, we're just going to be looking at like the assessing the hotel inside the business, so strengths, weaknesses. So OSU, well, I'm sorry, the Blackwell has ties with OSU ties and access to university benefits, offers university student discounts, and houses its own AV department. So we already mentioned the AV department and like just the benefits that it offers, but it also is a major strength for the hotel as well. But all the student discounts are really good because when students move on campus and parents want to stay, um, they can tap into those university benefits, but also those benefits are extended just beyond move in and move out weekends. If at any time if parents want to stay at the Blackwell Inn for any type of reason, they can still tap into those student benefits, which is really good because it's going to be a really attractive benefits for those markets as well. And yeah, so those university benefits, having the stadium, the OSU branding, the OSU name, all of that is going to be really good to attract those like on campus and just people who are just fans of the school. Weaknesses, high food and beverage expenses. I mean, food and beverage expenses are really major expenses for a lot of hospitality businesses because a lot of waste. Food is very expensive depending on what type of ingredients you're using, especially when you're having large scale events. Having to those costs really do add up really quickly. Those employee turnovers. Students are going to constantly moving on and off campus, so that's really going to increase the turnover rate, which is going to impact the number of staff members overall. And like if you don't really have a good website, it's going to hurt your branding, your marketing, and it's going to also hurt the accessibility, and it's really going to turn that touch point, that first touch point that guests are going to have with the brand, into a pain point, and so guests are going to really um, have a negative light on like what the hotel has to offer. So just some strategies. Some strategies that I implemented are suggesting is a new integration strategy where the Blackwell would gain more ownership of the stadium. A new diversification strategy where the Blackwell would invest in the new Intel plant that's going to be coming to Columbus, Ohio, and also an intensive strategy that I propose would be that the Blackwell to look back onto the older products and revive them to bring them back up onto the newer market for sale, but before putting them up for sale, they would also each would need to go under a major evolution so that they're new and refreshing to guests. So to really expand those strategies, we're going to really talk about those objectives. So when I think of the stadium, I don't necessarily see it as a direct retailer or a supplier of the Blackwell. However, there is a profitable benefit that the stadium has always afforded the hotel for a long time. The Blackwell can increase its ownership of the stadium through a financial investment, and I would strive, for them to not only gain ownership but also to work directly, with the venue to increase its marketing ability of both the Blackwell and the stadium. And so I really chose the strategy due to how close in proximity both locations are, and when people come to OSU, they come mainly for football games. The Blackwell has a major advantage already. I would also want the Blackwell to increase marketing, of its increased ownership to the college sports market. For the second proposed strategy, I think the goal for this unrelated diversification strategy for the Blackwell to tap into a potential booming firm, this upcoming project has been projected to increase the number of jobs in the job market, become a major local tech supplier in the city, and it will allow the Blackwell to gain a competitive advantage and overall profitability. And so I really chose the strategy because the Blackwell already has a different sector of hospitality on its properties, such as events, food and beverage, and lodging. And I want the Blackwell to focus on increasing its financial position because it is already competing with large hotel chains that have a wide financial gain over the Blackwell. Also, I can see future plans to even have the Blackwell to have a partnership with the Intel Group to host events, like job fairs, interviews, conferences, hotel stays, etc. And I'm hoping for years of a positive return in profits. Now, for the last proposed strategy, in addition to this, I want the Blackwell to also upgrade the current products as well. This is a product development strategy specifically. The goal is for the Blackwell to reflect on past products that they have created and analyze where the financial losses were to be found at. Product marketing service, and to then take those products and revive them. And a great example would be like a Valentine's Day special, their bubbles, berries, and brie that they had previously. Customers can add on to that to the room at extra cost, or even go to the hotel bar to request service on site. And so it hasn't really had a good turn on investment, but I think a great solution would be added on as a display element to the product. So like when they check into the hotel at any point, they request a product, while at the hotel, a team member can go up to the room, pop a champagne bottle, wish them happy Valentine's Day on behalf of the hotel, just to add that, to switch it up a little bit. And so here's another visual. So this is the relative market share position as well as compared to the industry growth rate. And so like when it currently comes to like your stars, it's going to be like your rooms, because your rooms are, people are going to be booking rooms. It's a lodging sector. They're going to book rooms. And so they're going to have a lot of that turnover rate, because you can really change you have different types of rooms. They can be really pricey, really cheap, but also like it's going to be really tough to your guests. Overall, you're gonna have your cash cows, like your wedding venues, because like yes, weddings can have a minimum food and beverage and thousands of dollars, and they're just really, you can really charge a lot for wedding venues. But then again, if it's not really wedding season, then it's really not gonna, that demand is really not gonna grow in that time. So like your question mark will be like your marketing spaces, your meeting spaces. So those really can those would be like under rooms. Like you could charge a lot for those depending on like different types of rooms. So like your staffing needs, audiovisual needs, food and beverage, all of that. However, it depends on like if you're gonna have really tap into that business market or not. And like your dogs are gonna be like your restaurants. So like those can really be yeah, those are really not gonna, because you're going to have like a lot of expenses, high F&B rate, and all of that. So it might not really contribute a lot of growth, and it might not really have a lot of that market share overall as compared to rooms and like your special events. Yes, so here is the QSPM matrix, and it just compares the all the internal and external factors, and especially like with like the four strategies, and really the attractiveness, you can really see an upward trend and like their attractiveness overall, which is really good because it's really showing like how with these newly implemented, if we really do go with these newly implemented strategies, it can really have a good return on investment and really good presence overall with our expanding markets as well. So these are some proposed annual objectives. And so for the first one, increasing OSU exposure to families, I really think it's going to have that marketing approach. Like by doing that, we want to launch 3 new promotions by fall 2023. For the second one, it's going to also have a marketing approach. Having that website undergo a complete redesign before summer 2023. For that third annual objective, it's going to have another marketing approach as well. And I want that to develop a research project to explore a non-athletic and marketable parts of the OSU and create marketing plan for some before summer 2023. And for that last annual objective, it's going to have a different approach. It's going to really take on an HR approach. And with this, I want to host 2 hotel-wide job fairs before the end of 2023. So these are just resource allocations. So for example, for the first one, like we would need to make posters, signs, and order gifts for parents to make sure and students to take care of their families. So a challenge would be like families might have already booked at a different hotel before they arrived on campus, and so really a solution could just be like we could like do this weeks before move in so that we can really capture that market. And for the second one, money is needed in order to really get a better site domain. And a challenge could just be like that low website traffic, and a way to really combat that could just be like make sure that with each advertisement that we invest, we're also placing a website link with each ad to increase that website traffic. For the third one, money would be needed to buy ads so that people would, they would see our hotel exists as in money, as well. So they can get like necessary items and stuff like that. A challenge would just be that people could RSVP. Not enough people would RSVP to come to the open house. Uh, Honestly, this a solution would just be better marketing, just to make sure that with connecting with other campus departments so that we can really increase that exposure as well and gain that traction. For the first one, we want to just money would be needed and to pay for ads as well, just in case we decide to have stands outside. And a challenge would be not enough people are coming to work with us at the Blackwell. A solution would just make sure that we're communicating the benefits that our hotel offers and highlighting our wages, our benefits for students and employees, and our excellent internship programs as well. I really capture that market. So, who are our evaluators? Well, those are going to be customers and employees. I mean, customers are the ones because they're the ones that are receiving that hospitality in our products as well. They're going to be consuming those products. They're going to give us our opinions and their feedbacks, and so we want to make sure that we really are marketing well for them. Our employers, because I mean, they're the ones that are executing that. Employee relations are really good. We want our employees to really they can give us feedback on our recruitment practices, our location, and factors to really help to make sure that what we're doing is really beneficial and it's really going to work in the long run. So when measuring for success, there's many ways we can do this, and like typically it'll be forms and surveys. So we can create a deal table for the week of the OSU move-in week. When people go to book rooms, they can check whether or not they book with us. So we can keep a better measure on tracking that. Another one would be like a survey, maybe a week after the website undergoes a makeover, just to collect qualitative responses from families and surveys, and we can do it like strongly agree, strongly disagree, just to really get the gauge that those types of emotion reactions have a better understanding. Also, we can have guests like answer surveys that are easy, that won't take long, during events and stuff, just so we can reach a larger audience and gather more answers and make it more convenient for them. We can also have like employee like when we're interviewing, have like incoming hires like check boxes on their applications, like so that we can really track the number of applications that have applied through our hiring events, and so we can see it and like have the success of our hiring events. That is the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.